YouTube, yo, it's your boy Fultzs, and he's back with another video on the channel. And today we're gonna be reacting to every isolated tribe that has been explored in like 14 minutes. Obviously, like there might be more because technically they're not like explored. So
they often react aggressively to unauthorized intrusions into their territory. In the early 1960s, the Indian government tried to befriend them, but to say it didn't go well would be an understatement. The government declared the island off limits to protect their sovereignty and
if India pulled up on me too, I would fuck their shit up too. So I don't blame y'all.
keep intruders away, creating a 5-kilometer buffer zone around it. You might think you could ignore this ban and wander onto the island, but that would be a terrible idea, as anyone who has ever tried never lived to tell the story.
I think this is obviously like, oh my god, I was like, what the fuck's on my mind? I think this is obviously like the obvious one. Everybody knows about the North Sentinel Island. Just a bunch of really dark black men that will fuck your shit up.
2006, 2 Indian fishermen who had been illegally fishing for
Cheat code.
moored their boat near the Sentinelese island
Cheat
and
code.
fell asleep. The boat broke loose and drifted onto the shores of the island. They were set upon by the tribe's warriors and axed to death. Their bodies strapped to bamboo sticks facing the sea as a warning to others. In
Fuck.
2018, another incident occurred.
That sucks.
It was an American missionary who was killed. He illegally traveled to the island with the intent of converting them to Christianity.
You deserve to die. Okay? That's fucking stupid. Why the fuck? Man, white people are crazy. White people are crazy.
Sentinelese tribe issued warnings on 4 different occasions, but he persisted in attempting to make contact, which ultimately led to his fatal encounter. His dead body was seen dragged up and down the shore by the tribe's warriors. The Sentinelese people have made it clear that they do not want contact with outsiders, and their reactions are based on a desire for isolation and self-preservation.
What if we just popped in there with a gun and just shot one of them?
Their people, as they have no immunity against diseases like flu and malaria. They shoot arrows at helicopters and approaching boats. So if you're ever thinking of visiting...
What if we just shoot one of them with a fucking gun?
The Sand People, also known as Bushmen, have existed for over 20,000 years. They are descendants of the early Stone Age ancestors and the first dwellers in South Africa. Famous for their hunting skills, they are nomads who move from place to place and live under rocky overhangs, mountains, and caves. The Sandmen are also formidable trackers who can follow the trails of any animal across virtually any surface. They hunt animals with poison-tipped arrows, obtained from the larvae of small beetles, snake venom, and plants. However,
Damn.
despite their extensive knowledge of herbs and toxins, the Sands are still vulnerable to the poison. So when consuming the meat from the dead animal, the area where the arrow struck is always cut out and thrown away. The Sand tribe believes in the supremacy of a powerful god called
Maybe I'm retarded, but why don't you just shoot the thing with a normal arrow?
Dragon, who can assume many forms, including the praying mantis, a snake, and a vulture. They also worship the moon and pay homage to their ancestors through offerings and sacrifices. Europeans during the war significantly reduced their numbers, fighting them with horses and firearms. The Sand people
Why?
were vastly outnumbered, and although they were very courageous, did not stand a chance against the Europeans. However, they still chose to fight to the death instead of capture and slavery. Their way of life was strongly altered by colonialism, and they were no longer given the privilege to roam freely and hunt like they did in the past. Asmat tribe, with an estimated...
So they're pretty much just like North American natives. Really?
population of about 65,000 people, the Asmat tribe is notorious for headhunting and cannibalism. They live on Small Island Mangrove in
God.
Papua, a province of Indonesia. Historically, the Asmat engaged in ceremonial practices that involve the killing and consumption of the brains and flesh of their enemies. For
Fuck!
complex cultural rituals, they strip the skull of its brains and eyes, closing up the nasal parts too, to prevent evil spirits from entering the body. The empty skull is used as a pillow for sleep and a bowl to eat. However,
Fuck off! Fuck off! Fuck off! You're fucking kidding me. There is no fucking way that people do that shit. There's no fucking way that people actually do that shit.
People were not just random, they were known to hunt for names, and believed that by killing and eating another person, they would absorb his power and name, becoming him. Every Asmat person is named after a tribe member who passed away, or an enemy they hunted and ate. The tribe's people would only give names to many of the Asmat children.
You guys are so fucking stupid. Like, have a think. Have a think for a second.
The victim, and can only take the name for themselves after eating his flesh. The hunting generally included attacking enemy villages, and might even include unsuspecting visitors. In an improbable scenario, an unsuspecting visitor to Indonesia could unwittingly become a target in the Asmat tradition of name-taking. However, while there is historical evidence of cannibalism and headhunting, these practices are no longer a representation of the Asmat people today.
And you know what I would do if an Asmat motherfucker came up to me? I would turn around, I would pistol whip that bitch-ass hoe, and shoot him in the gut. Alright? Ain't no Dark Goggins gonna take me out, motherfucker.
People also believe they come from wood and hold the forest sacred.
They just don't, dude. They just don't. You come from a pussy, dude.
Statues and sculptures with incredible craftsmanship. Asaro mudmen.
Oh,
Not
God.
all indigenous tribes are deadly killers, but this particular tribe located on the New Guinea island certainly looks the part. However, looks can be deceiving, as the Asaro mudmen, or the Halosa, which translates to ghosts, are peaceful people. However, seeing them for the first time might make one scared, because they cover themselves from head to toe with gray mud, and wear demonic-looking clay head masks. They elongate their fingers with bamboo sticks, and move in a slow single file to a rhythmic pattern that can be likened to a spiritual dance.
Why do we do this?
They look this way to intimidate and scare their enemies, to avoid war and conflict. Why go to war when you could scare them to victory? The Asaro mudmen adopted this look when attacked by another enemy tribe. During the attack, they hid in the Asaro River, and when they came out, were covered from head to toe with gray mud. The attackers saw them and fled in fear, believing they were the ghosts of past Asaro people they killed. The Asaro people realized this was a great and intelligent way to avoid conflict and war, so they continued the practice. The masks are made by a skilled craftsman, who ensures they are all unique and different. Some have horns, tusks, and fangs, while some are painted and decorated with other colors. The bottom line is the masks should be as scary as possible. Korowai tribe.
That's smart, actually. You know what? That's smart. I like that tribe.
This tribe living deep inside the rainforest of...
Does anyone have thoughts on last...
I don't know. I've never heard of this tribe before.
Mr. Cox.
Not you. Him.
Never heard of this tribe.
Top man. Thank you so much. Carry on.
Save on Uber and Uber Eats. Oh my god, bro. Fuck, that's a lot.
Indonesia, completely isolated from modern civilization. Due to the high mortality rate caused by jungle diseases like malaria, tuberculosis, and severe anemia, most of them do not live past 50, and have no immunity to fight these illnesses. However, these deaths are blamed on an evil demon called Kakua, who is said to take the form of their loved ones to kill and eat the flesh of the tribespeople. So if anyone dies from malaria or anemia, Kakua is blamed, and to stop the demon, the Korowai people capture, kill, and eat the flesh of anyone suspected of being possessed. To identify the Kakua amongst them, the victim dying would mention the name of the person he suspects as the one eating his flesh from the inside. And once a name is mentioned, the tribespeople would kill and eat the person, which means they avenge the death by eating the Kakua responsible. Although the cannibal... That
is absolutely fucking stupid. Some of these tribes need to figure it the fuck out. That is the dumbest shit I've ever heard. Also, how do they not have immunity? Like, if all of them are fucking getting tuberculosis and shit, you'd think that, like, at some point they would just, like, build a little bit of immunity towards it? Like, I don't know.
The Korowai tribe has reduced significantly, partly in reaction to several incidents with the police. It is believed that many of the tribe's people are still murdered and eaten each year.
Good. So, I mean, if they're running into the police, they're not uncontacted, though. They're not. Because, like, you should be able to eat your people in peace if you're uncontacted. But if the police are going to pull up on you, then...
5 evangelical Christians from the United States journeyed to the depths of the Amazon rainforest in search of the Huaorani people. The Huaorani tribe, located within the Ecuadorian Yasuni National Park, had never been contacted.
Why do white people do this shit?
The best thing to do was to journey from America and introduce a new god to them. The contact was complex, and there were a lot of misunderstandings on both sides. Although the Christians offered gifts to the tribe when they arrived, and the tribe's people collected the gifts with fear, but mostly excitement, they were all still brutally speared to death at night by the tribe warriors.
Good shit.
Found their dead bodies floating on the banks of a river. Nobody knows the exact reason for the sudden hostility, but it is speculated that the 5 men had set up camp too close to a Huaorani settlement. The Huaorani people are fiercely territorial, attacking anyone who tries to enter their lands, including...
Just making sure nobody's in my house. Fuck. What's up with white priests and wanting to go and fucking convert people? Like, what? You know, I've had the Jehovah's Witness come to my door, and good night. It doesn't work. All right, it has never worked. Obviously, it's never worked. Why are we still doing this shit, Jehovah's Witnesses? It doesn't work. You get killed. You're lucky you can't get killed now.
Relatives of the tribe and other people unrelated to them, and have been known to kill plantain workers and explorers who come too close. The tribe's primary source of survival is hunting monkeys and other small animals with
fucked up.
And blowguns. Tree climbing is a vital
Dark Goggins, fucking Dark Goggins.
Skill for hunting monkeys, and members consider it crucial. However, the long-standing practice of climbing trees has caused the Huaorani people to experience different forms of physical adaptation to their feet, including flattened and extra toes. Batak tribe. The first distinct feature of the Batak people is their physical attributes of dark skin and curly hair. They are considered to be of Negrito stock and live in the high mountains of the Philippines, with ancient practices and customs that shape their lives and traditions.
So they're black. Like... Not being racist, they're just black? Like, is that, like, that's kind of what I'm hearing.
The Batak people's marriage ceremony, a process called the alyog is first performed. This practice is used to determine if the boy's parents agree to his marriage to a chosen girl. The boy's parents are usually escorted by a tribe elder who witnesses the conversation and final agreement. They are also a very spiritual and religious tribe that believes that spirits with the powers to cure and heal severe diseases reside in big rocks and trees. This belief is sacred.
It's not how it works, bro. Unfortunately, like, no.
Spirits. A ritual called Saghat is performed to the goddess spirit to ask permission for king game, the farming process used by the tribe involving the slashing and burning of trees and plowing the ashes as fertilizer. If the tribe's people get no sign or dream of disagreement with the goddess within 3 days and night, then king game would proceed. Simbu tribe. In the mountain terrains of the central highlands of Papua New Guinea, you would find the happy, simple tribe of the Simbu people. The Simbu people live in tiny settlements with oval houses, low thatched roofs, and flattened reed-woven walls. The men stay together in one communal house, while the women, children, and pigs live separately. They do not have much and rely on hunting for survival. Pigs.
Why do women live with pigs? Just saying, that's kind of fucked up.
Prized possessions and are used in exchange for marriage ceremonies.
That's
Death
fucking
rituals,
whack.
as push gifts to thank the woman after childbirth. Another distinct practice among the Simbu people is a pig killing practice known as Bugla Ingu. In this
Not that sacred then. If we're gonna stab pigs, but I'm gonna give you it as, like, that's just that. No.
Thousands of pigs are killed, cooked, and distributed amongst the different tribes.
Wow.
In a form of exchange ceremony to maintain good relationships and peace.
That's
Akuntu
fucked.
Tribe. The peaceful Akuntu tribe hasn't been heard of in many centuries, but with only 4 members left, they may soon go extinct. Originating from Rondônia in Brazil, the Akuntu people speak a unique language that sounds unlike anything you've ever heard. Tragically, Brazilian cattle ranchers in the 1980s perpetrated a massive massacre that almost completely wiped them out. The reason for this attack was that the cattle ranchers believed that if contact was made through the official channel, their forest would be turned into an indigenous reserve and closed.
There's 4 of them left. I find that very hard to believe. If anybody downloads this app or whatever, you are... Never mind. You can download this app. You can download it all you want, actually. If you want to download the app, I actually would encourage that. Why not?
Off to loggers and cattle ranchers. The government made official contact with them in the 1990s, and it was discovered that only 7 members of the Akuntu tribe survived. Only 2 men, 3 women, and 2 young girls were left. But eventually, the oldest member and tribe shaman died during their sleep. In 2000, a tree fell on one of their homes, killing the youngest girl. The
Fuck.
4 members are the last known survivors of their people.
Let's get fucking then. Let's get fucking. Let us get fucking. Alright?
Members and in Uttar Pradesh, India, practices a distinct and intense form of Hinduism, which includes unique post-mortem rituals that significantly diverge from mainstream practices. While we hold simple burial rituals, the Agoris take it a step deeper, throwing ashes all over their bodies, dwelling in the cremation grounds, and eating the flesh from the dead bodies.
Fuck
They use
that.
bones to make skull caps and jewelry, and
Yeah.
many of their practices have healing powers.
No.
The Agori of the present trace their origins to Baba Kinaram, who
Stop.
is said to have lived for 150 years.
Nope.
He died in the second half of the 18th century.
He just didn't.
Regarded as an incarnation of Shiva, and his birth is marked by several miraculous signs, including the fact that he was born with a complete set of teeth, a rare phenomenon, and a sign of spiritual power.
It probably just didn't happen. That probably, you know what, that probably just did not happen. Alright? Like, no.
Consume his mother's milk for 3 days. On the 4th day, his family was visited by 3 monks, believed to be incarnations of the Hindu gods Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, marking a significant turning point in his early life.
Oh my
After the
God.
visit, he cried and accepted his mother's milk. The Agoris are the holy men of death, who live on the edge of life and death and live in isolation from modern society. Jarawa tribe. The Jarawa people, with a population
Was that just like one whole one? I don't know. That Ogori tribe needs to go, though.
are amongst the last mainly uncontacted tribes in the Andaman Islands, which are located in the Indian Ocean. They are nomadic and move from place to place, surviving through hunting boars and fish. They
Okay.
supplement their meal with the fruits and vegetables harvested from their current environment.
Okay.
Ancient tribes were mainly nude, but the members of the Jarawa tribe were always naked and adorned themselves with objects like flowers, painted plastics, and shells. From
Fuck yeah!
It is sometimes spread on the body and used to design.
That pussy out,
Honey is
bitch.
another excellent food source for the Jarawa people, and both men and women collect wild honey from lofty trees. During the honey collection, the members of each group will sing songs to express their delight, and the honey collector will chew the sap of leaves from a bee repellent plant, such as Uyakualan. Once this is done, the Jarawa can cut the bee's nest, which they will put in a wooden bucket on their backs and start the journey home. The Jarawa people strongly believe in the cycles and phases of the sun. And
These people are uncontacted. How do we know this shit?
to judge the success of their hunts.
I mean, honestly, kind of a W video. I kind of wish I would have saw pictures of these fucking crazy motherfuckers. But without further ado, let me know if you want to react to more videos like this, or you want Clash Royale content, or whatever you want. Make sure you let me know down in the comments. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.